Welcome to Emavura Audiobooks channel. This is playlist of Emavura crime files, Rewind, where every story starts at the end. The story is called Nine Missed Calls. Get comfortable. Here's where it ends. The end. Mara Lindqvist was still in her pajamas when they cuffed her. Her husband Tomas was on the office floor upstairs, one hand still curled near the desk leg, and her phone was sitting on the kitchen counter, where she'd left it the night before, screen lit up with a call log the detectives read aloud, like a verdict already decided. 9 calls placed to Thomas's business partner in the single hour before he died. 3 of them voicemails, where a voice, her voice, they said, unmistakably, threatened to make him pay for what he did. "I didn't call anyone," Mara kept saying over and over, until the words stopped sounding like a defense and started sounding, even to her own ears, like something a guilty person would say to fill the silence. "I was asleep. I don't even remember falling asleep last night. I remember making tea and then nothing." Nobody in that kitchen believed a woman who couldn't explain her own phone, her own voice, her own missing hours. One of the detectives photographed the counter. Another one asked, not unkindly, whether she wanted a lawyer present before she said anything else. Hours earlier, at 11 o'clock the night before, while Mara slept a strange, heavy, dreamless sleep she would later struggle to describe to anyone, a man named James Okafor sat parked 3 blocks away in his car, with a spoofing app open on his laptop and her actual phone number typed into a field marked caller ID. He called himself 9 times over the course of 40 minutes, leaving 3 voicemails in an impression of her voice he'd spent the better part of a week practicing in his own bathroom mirror, replaying old videos of her from company holiday parties to get the cadence right, the particular way she clipped the ends of her sentences when she was angry. Then he let himself into the house with the spare key Thomas had given him years ago, back when the two of them still trusted each other with things like keys, back when James was still just Thomas's guy from business school at every dinner party. He went upstairs quiet, patient, and sure of exactly how long he had, because he'd timed this the way he timed everything else in his life. Carefully, twice, on a spreadsheet nobody else would ever see. Mara had had 2 glasses of wine that evening. A peace offering, James had called it when he dropped the bottle off earlier that afternoon, all apology and warmth, saying he felt terrible about a disagreement at work he wouldn't specify. She never tasted the third ingredient, dissolved carefully, measured precisely, timed to put her under long before midnight and keep her there past the hour that mattered. Days earlier, 3 days before that, Thomas had told James over lunch, calmly and with visible relief at finally saying it out loud, that he was done covering for him, that the missing client funds needed to be reported to the SEC before anyone else found them first. James had smiled, said he understood completely, paid for both their meals like always, and started planning that same afternoon in the parking lot before his car had even left the restaurant. He already knew Mara would make a convenient suspect. 5 days earlier, she'd been publicly, furiously loud at a restaurant 2 blocks from where James now sat, calling Thomas a liar in front of half a dining room. People remember a scene like that. People are eager to believe the woman in it capable of more than shouting. Weeks earlier, that restaurant fight had nothing to do with James at all. Mara had found messages between Thomas and a coworker, an affair 3 months deep by then, and confronted him in public because she genuinely could not stand to do it quietly for one more night in that house. One more dinner where he asked how her day was like nothing was wrong. She never once suspected the man sitting 2 tables over, offering her sympathetic glances between bites of his own dinner, was already cataloging exactly how useful her rage would become to him later. She spent the following days convinced her marriage was ending over infidelity. She had no idea it was about to end over something else entirely, engineered by a man she'd always considered harmless. Quiet, a little awkward, always the one who remembered everyone's coffee order and never once raised his voice. The beginning. 8 years earlier, Thomas and James had started their firm together as equals on paper. Equal shares, equal risk, equal signatures on the founding documents they'd signed in a rented office with a single desk. Unequal, though, in every way that actually mattered day to day. Thomas got the clients. Thomas got the credit. Thomas got the toast raised in his honor at every holiday party, while James stood by the bar being introduced again and again as the numbers guy. He told himself for years that he didn't mind. He minded every single day, quietly, the way a person minds a splinter they've stopped trying to pull out because digging for it hurts more than leaving it in. It took the phone company's fraud division nearly 4 months to prove the calls had been spoofed. Routing records, tower pings, a pattern too clean to be anything but engineered by someone who understood exactly how the system worked. By then, Mara had already lost her job, her house, and 11 weeks of her life inside a county jail cell, rebuilding a story nobody had wanted to hear the first time she told it. The number James used to place that very first fake call turned out to be the same line he'd used to call Thomas 8 years earlier, the afternoon they signed their partnership agreement. Both of them younger, both of them certain the other one would always have their back no matter what came later. And that's where it began. Thanks for rewinding this one with us on Imavura Crime Files. If you want to catch the next one, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. A new rewind story. I'll see you in the next one.